Dr. Wood authored the book Miracles in Minutes. The title of this video is Having Healthy Conflict. how to shut down drama and BS and have more functional, healthy relationships. And very few people are taught conflict resolution. And anytime two humans meet, at some point there's going to be conflict, whether it's your mom and dad, brother or sister, or your best friend, or your wife or your husband. It's going to happen, or even with your own children. It's going to be conflict. Most people don't know how to fight fair, or even how to fight. So, this video is going to be about that. So, I think the first thing I'm going to cover is something from a book called Crucial. I highly recommend this book. Highly recommend it. I bought it for all three of my daughters just because. I want them to have good marriages and healthy relationships, whether it's business or personal or interpersonal. But how to have manage conflict. So the book is called Crucial Conversations, and a crucial conversation when the stakes are high and there's high emotion and there's a lot on the table and there's a lot of opposing sides. So some other videos were all about self-awareness, emotional intelligence, self-awareness, self-discipline, self-control. And the first rule of having a crucial conversation or having a healthy conflict is, number one, get your shit under control. You have to calm yourself down when something happens, and obviously things are first going to go through the reptilian brain, and somebody gets arrested, something bad happens, somebody died, you're going to have high emotion. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. The only way you avoid it is if you're a psychopath or you cut your brainstem, then you're dead. Okay. So that's the first thing, is like there's going to be a lot of emotion, and then we're going to have to learn how to do something called self-soothing. Even John Gottman, who's a relationship expert, about the 7 principles of healthy relationships or something like that, or healthy marriages. One of the things he teaches self-soothing. In other words, calm yourself down. So it goes like this, that first there needs to be, where there's silence, there's violence. So you have to create safety. I did a video the other day and about everything goes into the brain, and the brain's asking safe, not safe, ease or dis-ease. Okay? Dis, not, ease, not okay. If you pick not okay, this is not okay that you got arrested. It's not okay you're sad. It's not okay you failed. It's not okay you got cut from the team. That's high emotion, and so you're in fight, flight, freeze, fawn. You're going to attack something. You're going to tell somebody off. You're going to throw a fit. You're going to throw stuff. It could become violence. It could be rape. Like shoot somebody, stab somebody. I mean, it could be yell, scream at people that you love when you're out of control. So if you're yelling and saying you, arrow, 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 that's slander. It's dehumanization. You're attacking someone's personhood and not the behavior. They did bad, and turns into they are bad. And the first thing is recognize that I do that to myself. So if you can't even recognize that you have no mercy for your own soul, you don't know how to calm yourself down, you don't know what's going on in your own head, there's no way you can ever do crucial conversation. You're not a leader. You're actually part of the freaking problem. You don't de-escalate conflict. You add gasoline to the fire and escalate. There's no way you could be, and you shouldn't be in charge of anything. You shouldn't be in charge of a company. You shouldn't be in charge of your family. You shouldn't be in charge of anything, because you are not a change agent, because you can't even change yourself. You can't even get your own emotions under control. So you're out until you build a skill. Now everybody has the ability to build a skill. I'm just making you aware of that. Everybody's nervous system want to know, do you love me? It's okay. Is it safe to approach me? If I'm yelling at you, you don't feel safe, and I'm thinking about protecting myself, my personhood, my humanity, that you're calling me a bad person, and if I let that go in, I take it personally, then it goes to my heart, and it's a wound, and you're hurting me, and I already messed up, and you're pouring salt in a wound. I'm not really going to listen to what you have to say. I'll tell you what you want to hear to get the fuck out of here. Period. That's the way it goes. So if you parent that way, your kids really aren't listening to you. They'll tell you what you want to hear to escape this hostile environment, to get to a place of safety, because you're not a safe person. So if you can't calm down, speak authentically. I mean, you're allowed to be upset, but you just can't be yelling and screaming, be out of control. You have to present that, hey, I love you. So the problem is most humans are raised like a dog. If you do good, I'll give you a treat. If you do bad, I'm going to punish you. Not discipline, punish. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to yell at you. I'm going to take my shit out on you. I'm going to... Even girls today, it used to be guys the ones that are violent, and even women today now think it's okay to hit a guy. It's not okay to hit anybody, another human being, just because you're having a bad fucking day over here. But that's somehow becoming normalized, and that women can get away with it just because they're a woman. That's not true. I thought you're supposed to be the caring group over here, and I'm not trying to pick on women. I'm just saying, things are starting to get out of control, and no one brings it up, and no one holds accountability. You said you present yourself as this way, but you act this way. I don't know. It seems to be incongruent. What you say, you are, and what you do are not matching. So that's your fucking problem. You know what I mean? And you're not a holy person or integrated, because when you say and do match, it actually it's called integrity, or God calls it being a holy person. Holy person doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you're willing to be, you are who you say you are, and you do what you said you would do. And that creates trust. And when you create trust, and people can trust you, they'll put their guard down. And so then when they put the guard down, they're willing to listen, hear you, because they feel safe. Anytime the nervous system is not okay or not safe, the vision goes from panoramic, seeing big picture, and higher thinking skills go away. And you're thinking about staring at the threat and looking at, how do I get out of here? I see you, and where's the exit? I see you, where's the exit? How can I get out of here? And the brain starts to create a strategy to escape, to get to a place of safety, because you're not a safe person. You haven't created a safe environment. So that's how the brain works. Whether it's your kid, whether it's an employee, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your best friend, or whether it's your mom or dad, same thing. That's the way the brain works. So you have to move away from, instead of, to when you discipline somebody, or even an employee or a kid, it's like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? I want to let you know that I really care about you a lot, and I think highly of you, but I need to discuss a couple things with you, okay? And the conversation is so that way we can work something out together. Notice how I'm trying not taking an adversarial position of that I'm right and you're wrong. We're trying to get to a pool of shared meaning, a shared goal. We both want the same outcome, or maybe we don't. And instead of, a lot of times people start telling you what you want, but what I want, you denude and demoralize the other person, where whatever they have to say doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Well, that's dehumanization. That means you're not listening to them at all. And since she doesn't listen to them, they don't feel, quote, loved. Love is, I see you, I hear you, and I seek to understand. Well, if you only understand your point of view, like COVID's this, Dr. Wood, and you should do that. You should, and you're supposed to do this, and should, and supposed to, and should, and supposed to. Well, that's all guilt, and that's all shame, and that's all dysfunctional. And even people who are Christians, and they want people to become a witness, and they say, you need to join my church, and you should come, and you won't get to heaven, and do you have fire insurance from hell, and do you have God's love? And that's all guilt, that's all shame. That doesn't encourage anybody to join your fucking church. And that's not what God intended, because your goal is not to fucking save people, because you're not the Savior and you're not the Messiah, so you're at a roll. See, no, I'm doing the Lord's work over here. Yeah, okay. Well, you're not sharing God's love, which is agape love, and whether someone goes to your church or doesn't go to your church, or whether they think the way you think or don't think the way you think, you'd always love them. Sometimes you're going to have to love people from afar because they can't control themselves and are out of control. And we'll get into boundaries here in a minute and stuff like that, for how to deal with people who are psychopaths and narcissistic and Machiavellian and, dark triads, and, like people who you just have to set up boundaries around because they have no self-control and discipline. And God didn't intend for child abuse or parental abuse or abuse of human beings. You don't have to be abused. Some women consider that, you know, like if you can't take me on my worst day, then you can't have me on my best day. Like, oh, so when you have a bad day, you can just yell and scream at me and throw shit at me and take your shit out of me as an emotional punching bag. Get the fuck out of here. You're a crazy bitch. Get going. That's not love. That's you're asking me to give up my self-respect and the love of myself and just let you abuse me and be your outlet to just throw up on and shit all over when you're emotionally sick and you're vomiting all over me because you're emotionally uncontrolled and you don't even know what's going on in your body. That's not healthy at all. I don't know who espouse that to women and think that's okay, but and there's a penalty for that because you don't ever use the cortex to the God brain to correct sin or errors in thinking or errors in behavior, and you're not even assessing anything properly. So you're going to have chronic depression and anxiety. I can tell you that because cortex downregulates fear, and since you're not using it, because if women are perfect and they don't have any sins to fix, they don't need the cortex. Well, that's why 2/3 of all Alzheimer's patients are women because they don't have a fucking cortex. Use it or lose it, you know, like, and they're going to have chronic anxiety and you have chronic depression because that's how the brain science says it works. I don't think people are doing any favors for women at all. I think you did a disservice. I have 3 daughters and I raised them and I was kind to them, but I also didn't put up with bullshit either. I'm not going to let them use their emotions to manipulate me. Maybe they did sometimes because, you know, I can always be a sucker like every other guy when it comes around women. But if I really love my daughters, I would want to talk to them about problems and issues and be able to deliver constructive criticism but not tell them what to do, but teach them how to think. Input, process, output. What were you thinking? What did you do? And this is the output. And that's the way life works. You know, if you burn the cake and you got the and the cake was supposed to come out 3 inches tall, and you could put a lemon drizzle icing on this pound cake, and it came out 1 inch and it's burnt black as a crisp and it's not light and fluffy at all. You may got the eggs right and the flour right and the salt and maybe a leavening agent in there right, but you cooked it at 500 degrees for 5 hours, and every time you combine flour, water, butter, sugar, vanilla extract, and cook it for 500 degrees for 5 hours, there's nothing wrong here. It just produces black burnt cake every fucking time. So it's not really a sin. That's how you make black burnt cake. But you might have cognitive dissonance because you're intending a 3-inch tall, light, fluffy cake that's light and golden brown, but not burnt black to a crisp. Well, that's what happened. And that's what a lot of people don't understand is they fell in love with the creation rather than the creator. In other words, they put their heart into making the cake. When it didn't turn out the way they want, they go Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs, and you criticize their cake, and it's like you criticize them. You don't like my cake, you don't like me. Hey, we're gonna put you. I didn't know you were a cake. Put you in a little white jacket and a little van, pick you up and put a little helmet on you and take you to an institution over here. You know what I mean? And I try to make it fun out of that because it is kind of being nutty. And when we really look at it, we can see it's our logical fallacy or why are we thinking this way? Why are we taking it personal when I criticize your cake and you think I'm criticizing you? That's why, you know? So I don't forget when my daughters were a certain age, like about 14, 15, I had a single daddy-daughter date, and I was already separated at the time, and I took them out, and you know, I let them know. Number one, here's some of the things I said. You know, I said first to start it with. Well, my marriage broke up, and then I had to think about creating new relationships with all my daughters because, you know, as a husband, it's different than a single father. You know, I had new Christmases. Everything has to be fucking new. You know, like life changed, and that's just the way it is. So I gotta start from afresh. And I let them know that I love you, and I always love you. I don't need you to make A's to earn my love. They don't have to earn my love. I don't want my daughters to become dancing bears or a seal on a ball, tooting a horn. Hopefully we play the song right so they get daddy's attention and they get my affection or they get my validation and acknowledgement and they get my hug and kiss or love. No, I love you whether you do good or bad. I mean, if they killed somebody, I'd still love them, but that doesn't mean I have to agree with them killing somebody. Do you know what I mean? My love is still there. And so the first thing to establish is love. And what is that? I see you, I hear you, and I'm willing to seek to understand. So I don't forget my oldest daughter. I said, look, I'm going to make, number one, I made a promise. Okay. I'm a big dude, 225 pounds, 230 pounds, 5'10", could deadlift 500 pounds. A big dude, you know what I mean? And I got a daughter in front of me, and a lot of muscle sitting in front of them, and a deep voice, and I got to create some safety here, and let them know that I may not always agree with you, and I also want you to come to me when you have problems. I promise to keep my cool. I may lose it, and I promise that if I might need to tell you I need to walk out of the room for a second to compose myself, because if they hit me with a big left hook, something happened. Initially I might have some high emotions. I might, but I promise to only confront them and to address them with the context of love and peace and safety. Even though my emotions may be going high on the inside, I could be in an uncomfortable emotion and still maintain my composure, not yelling and screaming at them, "You're so stupid," and blah, blah, like condemnation and judgment and shaming them. Like, who wants that shit? Who's gonna be honest with you at that point? Especially if it's your kids. No. It's easy for your kids to come to you or someone to come to you when it's a good day and they got an A, or won the lottery, or got a new car, when times are good. It's what happens when they're in trouble, or else they have to carry the sin all by themselves, and the cross is too heavy to bear. So if you have a friend or a good parent, they can cut your pain in half, and when they have a good time, if you understand true communication, active, constructive communication, you can double their joy. But the biggest thing is being with someone in the shit, when they're afraid, when they're hurting, when they're fucked up, when they're in trouble, when they're suffering, that you could be with them in their suffering and let them know that you're okay and you're willing to hear the problem, and you let them know that you're going to create a space of safety that they could tell you their mistake, whether it's they got arrested or something bad happened or they stole something, or you know what I mean, without ignoring the sin, but just listening to them, that they could share that with you, that they have someone to talk to when they want to run away and hide and carry that pain on the inside. And that's what makes people sick, because they have nobody to help them carry their burden, because no one's there to see them. No one's there to listen, and no one's there to try to understand their perspective, not your perspective, but what were they thinking, and what were they going through, and why they made that decision, and what were they trying to accomplish, and why they chose what they chose. It is what it is. But if you can't maintain your calmness, a sense of safety, there's nothing that's, whether you're someone's boss, leader, husband, wife, or parent of a child, or to your best friend, it's not going to happen. And by all means, that God has given us grace or forgiveness, it doesn't mean sweep it under the rug. There are some consequences to actions if the consequences facilitate learning, improvement. So that's what's to be said. I'll give you an example. Okay, one of my daughters. So I was separated. One of my daughters graduated. She went down the shore after graduation, or the beach. She went to the beach, and my ex-wife texts me and sends me a picture, because my one daughter had accidentally locked herself out of her car, and I think she locked the keys in her trunk, and my ex had the spare set of keys, and she opened the trunk, and inside the trunk there is alcohol. Okay, so my daughter is at graduate, 18, and my ex-wife sends the picture to me. So what are you going to do about this, Joe? Yeah, whatever. So the next time I see my daughter, I tell her, I said, your mom sent me some pictures of when you locked your keys in the car. She's like, Dad, I don't want to hear it and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, look, I'm not here to beat you up. I was once your age. I was 18 and I had beer too, and maybe vodka and drinking underage. Who am I to condemn you for doing exactly what I did? Now, but I will say this, okay, that you've gotten back from the shore and you're still driving around with booze in the back of your car. Now, if you get pulled over and a cop search your trunk, you're in deep shit. I suggest that you take the booze and put it somewhere other than the back of your car, being under 21 years old. And that's all I'm going to have to say about it. If you want to continue to drive around with it and get pulled over, I'd say don't call me asking me to get you out of jail and bailing you out. That's what I'll say to that. Because you've had the opportunity to make a choice where there's no police involved right now. I suggest you act sooner rather than later, before next time you start that car and drive down the road with it still in the back of your car. That's all I'm gonna have to say about it. I'm done. Notice I didn't shame her. I didn't make her wrong. I didn't condemn her. I told her, hey, notice how I created like shared type stuff. Like I once did that too. If I did that too, how can I condemn my daughter for doing the same shit that I did as a teenager? Okay? Now, I want you to think about it. I mean, maybe you don't want to drink and drive. I can tell you that. You know what I mean? And maybe we'll consider, if alcohol becomes a problem that you need it all the time, might want to consider that and look at people who get addicted to alcohol and look what happens to their lives. Input, process, output, follow someone down the line, and try to be honest with yourself. Do you have a problem with it or don't you have a problem with it? But I can't make any decision for them. Even if you love your kid who's on fucking heroin and you want them to get sober, you can't love them so much that they stop. They have to choose to stop. But even before they even start a habit like that, you should teach them input, process, output. You can always learn by other people's lifestyle, or you might call it mistakes. If you continue doing heroin, what happens to most people who do heroin? They kind of get addicted to heroin. What happens to their life? What happens to their family? What happens to their finances? And where do these people end up down the road if you stay on that road called shooting heroin? Maybe homeless, or in Kensington in northern part of Philadelphia and hanging out with a bunch of people who don't know where they are or overdose and dead. If that's what you want from your life, that's fine. But maybe you should, see, this is called love and called critical thinking. You think before you take action about all the consequences or the moves on the chessboard or the checkerboard of, if you do this, what could happen, where do you end up, and where does this lead to, and see if you can start, that's the path you want to walk down in life, or that's what you want to try out in life by thinking that way. So notice how you can have a conversation that's discipline, which is teaching, not telling someone what to think, but cause them to think about their action steps, their thoughts, and their processes. And if they choose to go down this path, to keep looking for other people who've already walked the path before them, and where do you end up in the end? And is that where you want to end up? And is that what you want out of your life? That's all I can say about that. That's better before someone gets a drug habit, stuff like that. Now, let's segue over to the dysfunctional families, dysfunctional businesses, dysfunctional relationships, and lots of dysfunctional freaking people. And what you're going to see is this schema show up all the time. It's consistent. It's called the Karpman drama triangle. Oh, there's a victim. Well, if there's a victim, then there has to be a villain. And if there's a villain, then, and then rather the story go, well, there's got to be a hero. There's the savior. I'm coming to save you. There's a damsel in distress, and Prince Charming's going to come in and save old freaking Rapunzel over here from the Wicked Witch. You know what I mean? And the Wicked Witch is the villain, causing Rapunzel to be the victim. She's a helpless little kid over here. Oh, helpless little wood nymph. Never did one thing wrong in her fucking life. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, she don't have a brain. So she needs somebody to think for her. She needs someone to rescue her because she can't fight her own fucking battles and blah, blah, blah. And whether it's, you know, because you need someone to save you. And Black Lives Matter. We're the heroes. We're coming to save victims called black people, because black people can't think and help themselves, and they don't have brains to think and figure out how to get a license or, you know, ID or how to work a computer and all that stuff. Talking about racism. Talking about stereotypes. That's quite a bit of seeing all black people as one way, or women all one way, or white people all one way. That's black or white thinking. Like, no. There's plenty of black people who are pretty damn smart, you know what I mean? It's created businesses and done a lot of stuff. And there's plenty of women who are very capable of solving their own problems and getting the job done. You know what I mean? So this whole thing of needing someone to save, someone to be the God and come save this person is all nonsense. And this is all based upon fear, blame, and who's right and who's wrong, and it's drama, and it goes on. And the truth in the matter is, in this Carpenter, and it's very predictable, that in the end, the roles switch places. So I suppose you're the dude, okay? You're the hero, the white knight coming to save the damsel in distress. Oh, every guy I ever dated's a narcissist, and he did me this way and that way. And see, it's always the guy that she dated, or always the girl that she dated's the problem. It's never fucking him. Just a good person over here. Be a Jesus look the same. You know, I'm like God's kid. Like I'm his favorite kid. You know what I mean? I'm just a helpless little victim over here. You know what I mean? And then I need a hero to come save me. And somebody else did it to me. They did it to me. Notice everything's done to them. They could never fought back. And that's their schema, because people need love. And one way people get love is pity. Feel sorry for me. It's one way to avoid responsibility and accountability your whole life. I don't have any money, and the guy's going to pay this girl's bills and get her out of debt. And she spent too much money on credit card debt. Or maybe some girl's saving some dude, and he's in debt, and she's going to save him and help him out and stuff like that and help him out. Then, surprisingly, though, human nature is when you save people and help them, eventually they resent you. They like it when you give them the money, but then then they hate you because you actually made them feel small. You dehumanize them. It's not happening at a conscious level, it's happening at a subconscious, unconscious level. And the hero winds up becoming the victim. And the victim winds up becoming the villain. They screw over the hero, and then the hero's holding the bag. See, if this girl or dude is blaming his ex-boyfriend or girlfriend for all their problems, and you come in and listen to it and be the hero, and then next thing you know, this person wasn't good enough, didn't do enough for him, and was treating him bad. And after a while, this person exits. This schema's still running, but guess what? You, who was once the hero, now become the villain. And then they start punishing you, and in the end, they find another hero, enter stage left, side chick, side piece, somebody else, they're working on the side. This new person set up that they start telling the story about how you were once the hero, now you're the bad person, but they're telling this new person who enters the triangle about how bad you are when you were once their hero, now you're a piece of shit. They're still the victim, and in the end, then they wind up killing you. You went up from being hero to villain, and then you exit, they cheat on you with the new hero, and then you're left down here as the victim. And you're like, what the hell happened? After all the things I've did for you. That's what it sounds like. And that's emotional blackmail too. Because people are trying to get to a place of safety in looking for insurance policy. Well, if I give to them, I give them money, therefore they owe me debits and credits. See, it's conditional love. It's transactional. See, everything on this triangle is transactional. Debits, credits, good, bad, yes, no, blah, blah, blah. Hero, devil. Black or white. Fear, blame, shame. How do you get out of it? Well, you get out of it by taking the victim. You hear the story once or twice, and after a while, you go, what do you want? They go from being helpless and reactive and apathetic to a creator. What do you want for your life? I want to be a doctor. Well, have you at least passed high school? If you want to become a doctor, I'd suggest you find out what it takes. You got probably 4 years of undergrad. You got to do pre-med. And then you got to take an MCAT when you're done. And then you got to apply to medical school with your MCAT scores to get in. I hope you like biology. I hope you like organic chemistry. I hope you like physics and complex math and anatomy and blah, 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 blah. Because that's what you have to do to become a doctor. What do you want? It's your responsibility to create your life. Hope you're not delusional. I say you go for it. But what do you want? And there's a great book out there called Rethinking Positive Thinking by Gabrielle Oettingen, which has to do with goal setting and actually understanding how to reach your goals through scientific research and basis and backed up by science. And she uses something called WHOOP. What's the wish? What is the opportunities? What are the obstacles? What are the obstacles? Anytime through mankind, there's always been the history where the prince is coming for the princess, and there's always a dragon or devil or villain in the way and mountain that you have to climb to get to the prize, the princess's panties. You know what I mean? It's always something. To get to the top, there's always an obstacle. And as Marcus Aurelius said, the obstacle is the way. Today, parents, bulldozer parents, helicopter parents, trying to remove stress and obstacles from children's lives. You are wrong, because without struggle, there's no strength. It develops humility. It develops grit. It develops your character. It develops persistence. It's knocked down, get the fuck back up. To say there are never any problems or want your kid to have any problems in their life, you are not a good person or a parent, and you're crazy. You deny them of life struggles, which creates a resilient and robust and fearless, not absence of fear, but fearless person, more courageous person who's more centered, who's had some experiences, has some wounds, who's had some struggle to develop the mental muscle and the physical muscle and the perseverance to become a good person. Because, getting beat up sometimes teaches you humility, and it teaches you what it's like to struggle, so you can relate to other people's struggle. Oh, I know about struggle. You have a lot more compassion. So there's going to be obstacles, but with the WHOOP thing is, what if this, then that. If you face the obstacle, what's your plan to overcome the obstacle? It could be getting a support team. It could be, Jenny, I was supposed to go to the gym and work out and start doing yoga. I'm committed to doing yoga because I want to get in shape. I want to be healthy, and I want to live a long life and have healthy joints. And okay, what are you going to do? Okay, I want to do a yoga program. What are you doing right now? Nothing. So how often are you going to go to yoga? 4 times a week. And me and Jenny are going to go with my best friend. Well, you're supposed to go to yoga, and every time Jenny calls, you got your yoga Lululemon pants on, but you don't make it to yoga, but you do to make it happy hour, and you're drinking 6 shots of fucking tequila, and you never make it to yoga. Well, obviously, Jenny's an obstacle getting in the way of you starting this yoga plan out. I suggest you figure out a plan to get rid of Jenny. When Jenny calls, what are you going to do? Not answer the phone. You know what I mean? Or tell her to meet me after yoga class, and then we'll go out for a drink. Or maybe drink less, or maybe I need to get rid of Jenny as my friend. She's not really my friend. She's actually a person who's keeping me from my goal of talking about being healthy and in shape. She's more likely to help me become an alcoholic. You know what I mean? And might tell Jenny, get the fuck out of my life, or goodbye, or I don't talk to you as much. Or ask Jenny to change her ways, because my boat's going in this direction. And even though we're friends and we grew up together and stuff like that, but Jenny's got a drinking problem. She always wants to go drinking instead of going to the gym and doing something healthy and yoga. And if I keep hanging out with Jenny, I might end up as an alcoholic, and that's not what I want to be. And I only got one life to live. You better find out. Some people have friends that cost you your life. They're not really your friend. They're taking you down with them. And, misery loves company. So she's going to take you to hell with her. like she's going to hell and her life's going to hell and her relationships suck. There's a lot of girls who are just too fucking nice that your girlfriend is not really a girlfriend. She's more of a person leading you into fucking drama. And your life starts going well, and then she becomes jealous of you, and she starts using guilt and all kinds of shit on you. And a lot of women fall for this shit. Like, listen, I'd wake the fuck up. Are you willing to trade your life? Because you're going to fucking die. I would get that through your head. You're going to fucking die about 70, 80 years, average lifespan. And I'll figure out how old you are and how much time you got left. And are you willing to give up your fucking life to keep Jenny fucking happy over here so she doesn't get upset that you can't be her fucking friend anymore, where she's not really your friend, she's helping you become an alcoholic. And maybe never have the marriage that you want, or the kids that you want, or the relationship you want, or the job that you want. Is Jenny really your fucking friend? Or are you just being nice because you didn't want to hurt Jenny's feelings? Plenty of women are like that. Guys too. Would you give up your life, your happiness, so you don't hurt someone else's feelings? If you do, you're fucking crazy. And you know what God says? He said, you're nuts. God said the fear of man's a trap. Right there it is. It's in the Bible. So if you're worrying about if it's biblical or not, it is. God said, get rid of those motherfuckers. Not because you hate them, but they don't value life. And if you value your life, I would get off that victim wagon, because when you get in a state of creativeness, it actually creates happiness. It satisfies Martin Seligman's PERMA model. Positive emotions, engagement, now you're now engaged in life. Relationships, healthy relationships. Jenny's not so healthy. She's an alcoholic, and you're becoming one too. And it's you're getting fatter, and you're becoming less pretty, because alcohol could be pretty bad with your skin and your whole body. You know what I mean? Can age you pretty quick with swollen face and belly fat and all kinds of stuff. I don't know. You know what I mean? Drink's one thing, but alcohol's a different thing. You know, is Jenny really worth it? You willing to trade your life for Jenny? Like, because you don't want to hurt her fucking feelings? Are you serious? Really? I don't know. I'd advise the fuck up. Like, you're being stupid. I would say you are being stupid. It's a stupid idea. And you're being stupid. I didn't say you are stupid. I said you're being stupid. Big difference. I'm talking about the behavior. What do you want for your life and stuff like that? And then you might have to do something hard. Maybe have a crucial conversation with Jenny about like what you're going to do, and that you love her, but you're not going to keep going out and doing the thing, because you're now committed to what you want to become and getting healthy and getting your life together, and you want a healthy relationship and a healthy body, and you want to live a long life and enjoy your kids and grandkids and all that stuff, and your body's where you live. And if you keep doing what you're doing, you're not going to end up there, and you could be in a nursing home at a young age and have dementia. Okay, well, that's where you're heading, so I'm turning my life around. What do you want? What are the obstacles? What are the opportunities? And what's your fucking plan? Get that fucking goal, start creating your life, and get what you need to do. And the other people down here, the villain becomes the challenger. They start to keep challenge you to, like, are you sure you really want that goal over here? And the other one's a coach, helps you find the resources and assets and get you going in the right direction. A good person, whether it's a husband, wife, leader, parent, a good person, in the wake of their path, everyone they touch is better off. There's flowers in the wake behind them. And I have said things to people that pissed them off on purpose, because they're in apathy, sitting around doing fucking nothing, so it pissed them off. Because anger will get someone fucking motivated. Prove me fucking wrong. I don't care, as long as I get better. You know what I mean? I pissed this one guy off one time, and I didn't think he's ever gonna go back to working on cars again. He's like, fuck you, Dr. Wood. And like, decided to get better. Stop playing the victim. I don't care, he got better. He may have hated me in the minute. He may never understood what I did. But he's better off. Pissing people off sometimes, they move from being apathetic and laying around wallowing and complaining all the fucking time to finally take an action, start and to prove me wrong. I'm okay with that. Are they better off? That's one way of doing it. And there's encouragement, not discouragement. Encouragement. I'm rooting for you. When you love somebody truly, you want what's best for them, whether you're in the picture or out of the picture. My daughters, they don't have to come see me. They're not obligated to visit me at Christmas. They're not obligated to give me a birthday card. They're not obligated to bring me a birthday present. They're not obligated to tell me they love me. If they have to tell me they love me, that's not love. That's guilt and shame. Just like God does, same thing. You don't have to love God. You don't have to go to church. You don't have to tithe. It says it right here in the Bible, Dr. Wood, blah, blah, blah. You rob God of tithes and offerings. Actually, God said he loves a cheerful giver too, which means it comes from the heart. Just like I told one girl, I don't need you. I want to be here. I want my kids to want to see me, that they tell me they love me because that's what they feel. They want to spend time with me, not that they have to spend time with me. That's a healthy relationship. A lot of humans use a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, because they need someone else's love. But if you love yourself, you no longer put a responsibility on someone else to love you. And that's why a lot of relationships fail and businesses fail, is because a lot of fucking addicts out there. People are dependent upon others for validation, feeding their ego, and for love, because they have no self-love. So like a little child, always looking outside for mommy to validate them, their boyfriend to validate them, their girlfriend to validate them, social media to validate them. These people have a hole in their soul. And you know how much love a human means? Infinite. What human who's finite can fill you with infinite love? Zero. Zero. So you're set up to fail. You get in a relationship with a guy or girl who does that strategy on you, I can tell you where it's gonna end. In the beginning, you walked on water. In the end, it's all your fucking fault. You didn't do enough, and you're a terrible person. And a lot of women get divorced because they said they're not happy, and they blame their husband. And you know what I tell women? That's not my fucking problem. Your happiness is not my problem. It's your problem, bitch. There's so many women who've been conditioned and led to believe that, and taught by social media and modern feminism, that some dude is responsible for how you feel. And he's responsible for your happiness. That can't fucking happen, you crazy ass boy, bitch. Because the happiness is determined by how you think. You don't even know what you're thinking. You have no control over your mind. It's total chaos and drama. And no one can be your savior to save you from what's going on in your own head. What are you thinking? I made a mistake. What does that mean? What did you say to yourself? It says I'm a bad person. Well, you judged yourself. What does that mean? I should punish myself. When's the punishment end? When I become perfect. See, if you start seeing that, there's a book out there called Real Relationship by Les Perot. He taught a course at college. He said, you don't need to take notes, but you need to take this one note. It's the only note I'm going to ask you to take. He said, unless you do the hard work of becoming a complete and whole person yourself, all your relationships will fail in an attempt to complete yourself. You complete me. Oh, that's my other half, Dr. Wood. Well, they think for you? Yes, they do. That's my brain. So this way, if they make a decision and shit don't go right, I could blame them. Because I've already blamed myself enough, and I already have enough self-blame. It's easier just to pass the buck along and blame somebody else for decisions I made in my life, my thoughts, and my feelings. You know what I mean? I'm not charged by feelings. You are. Like a child. You made me feel that way. Not unless I stick my hand up your ass, maybe. Or stick it somewhere else. Or stick something else somewhere else. That'll make you feel something. But it's actually your experience. It's your feelings. It's your thoughts. And this is bringing people from immaturity to maturity. As Erich Fromm said in The Art of Love, or Loving, immature people says, I love you because I need you. A healthy person says, I want you. You know, I want you. Something like that. I forgot the quote. I need you because I love you because I need you. And a loving person says, I love you. I need you because I love you. I can't remember. Anyway, the one's just showing like dependency. In other words, it's the difference between needing someone to love you and make you feel safe versus you already feel safe and you have love. Is like the sun, you're shining from the inside out. You're abundant. The love's coming from inside out. The joy's coming from inside out. That's overflowing, and my cup overfloweth. Like the sun doesn't take light to the inside of it and then sends it back out. It has light coming from the inside, and the sun shines from the inside out. The baby grows in mama's womb from the inside and comes out. The chicken is inside the egg, and it comes from the inside out, and out pops the chick. Most people have no love on the inside, trying to get it from someone else and shove it on the inside. It's called an addict, and it's not going to work. Until we master those things about internal locus control, external locus control, self-soothing, self-control, creating areas of safety, becoming safe with our own dialogue going inside our head, learning to calm ourselves down and self-soothe, can we be in a healthy relationship? And we start to transform these drama triangles with dependency and addiction and all that stuff and immaturity up here to something more mature, more functional, more workable, and starts to bring joy, and everything starts to grow, and people become better off versus they're stuck in victimhood and they're still playing the victim. They're still playing the victim because they can avoid responsibility. They don't have to learn anything, but in doing so, they're the walking dead. They didn't grow. They didn't become anything. They're a beggar their whole life. They're a handout and someone gave them stuff. And then they go to the next person. They beg for the next person. They beg for the next person. And they play leapfrog. They jump from one ship to the next ship to try to get a better ship. But they never became anything. And so since they never became anything, their life has no meaning, had no purpose, and they die miserable. Even though they maybe live in a penthouse. Even though they may have a Ferrari. Even though they may have a Gucci handbag. I don't know. You could have all the material shit in the world, but if you don't have that deep sense of meaning, that deep sense of purpose, and that sense of fulfillment of living a well-lived life, you die miserable in the best house and clothes in the world. But you're still a miserable bitch or asshole. And your relationships don't work. And you won't have that sense of achievement or fulfillment. Positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, achievement. PERMA, from Martin Seligman's Authentic Happiness book and the study of happiness. So it's Dr. Wood. Hope this video helped you.